One of the things that a rate tries to cure is distance. The investors are anywhere in the world, America, Europe, Australia, they will be able to access this opportunity very easily. Yeah, because it's very different from buying a property directly. Because to buy a property directly, you have to come, negotiate, meet the owner, go through all the process of acquisition and registration. That's a lot of work. But the I-REIT cures this problem, because then an investor from anywhere in the world can own a slice of a prime property in Kenya almost instantly. But then the distance is still there. They're still very far away. And distance usually makes investors vulnerable. So distance usually makes investors vulnerable because you're so far away. You're from the proximity of the asset. Okay. Now, the antidote for this feeling of investors is usually rules or governance. Yeah, you set up structures to make sure that the investor feels protected. And this is what the I-REIT is all about. The regulations that support us to come to the market with an I-REIT, they require us to have certain structures. And number one is that we must have a trustee. And the sole role of a trustee is to do everything that represents the unit holder or the investors at all cost, even if it means to say no to the sponsor, to say no to the rate manager. Their job is to protect the interest of the unit holders in that particular real estate investment trust. They are the ones who will approve what needs to be invested in. They will approve valuations. They will approve everything, because the regulation is very strict on the trustee. That if anything goes wrong, it is a trustee that will be the first one to be persecuted. So the trustee takes this role very seriously, and in this particular case, we have NCBA as the trustee. So just the presence of the trustee makes you know that it is not business as usual. This is not a family property. This is not a family deal. This is not a related party deal. No, the trustee is there to make sure that everything is dealt with professionally and for the best interest of the unit holder. The second thing that is in the structure of this I-REIT is independent valuer, auditor, and capital markets authority as a regulator. Every asset must be valued by a professional, independent valuer who is totally different from the seller of the property. Again, that is to make sure that whatever assets are bought by the I-REIT, the TRIFIC I-REIT in this case, they represent the best interests of the unit holders, not the sponsor, not the rate manager, or any of those people. Is to make sure that they get the most fair valuation. Then there's also an auditor. An auditor is there to look through the books every year, once or twice, and make sure that the numbers are real and they are fair and they can be trusted. And then you have the capital markets authority, who come with the regulations. There's already a law that is in place to protect the investors, and the capital markets authority makes sure that this particular rate will be 100% compliant to those laws and regulations for the best interest of the investor. So with all these players, you end up with a very transparent operation. Everything is out in the open. we are required to publish the performance of the rate on a regular basis. So that's another second component of the structure. The third piece of this structure is the rate manager. The rate manager, who is licensed by the Capital Markets Authority, cannot just buy any building, cannot just sign any lease. The rate manager must follow a very specific investment guideline that is approved by the trustee on behalf of the unit holders, so that every investment decision must be for the best interest of the unit holders. And in this case, this is Nabo Capital. So we are held accountable by the law, yeah? And CMA will hold us accountable with all the other players to make sure we play our role. So the investment guideline is like a strategy. How are we going to deliver 8% yield to these investors? Whatever we promise them, we will deliver. We have a strategy behind it to deliver. And we cannot just do anything that we think or anything that comes to us for the sake of doing. It is a strategy which is supported by investment guideline that will make sure that we are not only compliant, but we deliver on the promises of this rate to the unit holders. So when you look at these three big elements of the structure, then you can see that the investors' money, everything has been done to make sure it's safe. Wherever, regardless of where they are in the world, their money is almost guaranteed will be safe, unless there is something that is beyond the control of all these people. And these are institutions, not individuals. Good governance means that the investors' money will not be exposed to emotions, guesswork, or any other sort of negligence that could endanger their money. Yeah. The structure is there to make sure that in every decision, the investor's interest will be considered first before anything else. Yeah. And that's how the capital markets regulations make sure that the investors in the TRIFIC I-REIT, they can sleep peacefully, regardless of distance, wherever they are, they'll be safe.